Today's video is about going out to the lake and having a great time, because when you go out on the lake, it's more than just fishing, it's recreation. You want to make the most of your time while you're out there. You don't want to be fumbling around recovering lost equipment that you dropped overboard, or have wasted a lot of time on the boat ramp, blocking the ramp, starting your day off bad. A lot of things can impact your day on the lake. But these are some things I've done to help my fishing experiences and the time I spend out there on the water, that it makes sure I have a great time, and my time is efficient and well spent, and doing what I like, fishing. But I hope you enjoy this video, and I'll see you in a few. One of the most labor intensive and time issues you'll have on your fishing trips is when you're going to launch your boat. One of the things I've built to make sure that not only is my time well spent, effective, and efficient, that when I launch this boat, I built me a little ramp reel that I hook to my trailer. And then the configuration simply is several different types of things you can get at any of your big box stores, of swivels and O-rings, D-rings, whatever combination of that you find that'll work, and that this thing will just turn. I hooked this here carabiner to the trailer. I take this carabiner and I hook to where my tie on my boat is. It can be any part of your boat that is from the eyelet, from the main hold down to maybe one of your cleats, and so that when you launch your boat, it would just reel off the rope, and you can pull your trailer out and instantly be able to stay in contact with your boat and pull it over to the shore, and get your boat secured and get up off that ramp so that you're not blocking the ramp for someone else, and just very effective and very efficient, and starts off the day right. When you're tying off to and you're approaching your docks to either retrieve your boat or pick up passengers and things, maneuvering these motors and boats around the docks can be hectic, and it also can be dangerous if there's a lot of people and a lot of boats there, about trolling the motors and big motors running around other boats and bumping into each other. One of the easiest ways and things I do, that once I get close to a dock, I built me an extended gaff that has just simply out of a painter's hook roller system. I just made the gaff, and not real sharp, but just so that it has some type of angles on it, so that I can grab either a dock or and push and pull, and so I can maneuver this boat around the dock so I can get my passengers on and off, or my equipment on and off of the ramp or dock at any time. It also is protected with the flotation device, piece of pool noodle, so that in case I do drop it overboard, I have some sense of being able to collect it and recover it. It is extendable. That it goes out, I don't know what this is, probably 10 or 12 foot, and I do everything with this here gaff, from recover my bass lures at night, where either myself or somebody that's fishing with me may throw up top of a tree, or they'll throw into a rock pile or on the shore, and this right here just helps you recover some of your equipment. And even with my catfish jugs, sometimes these catfish jugs only fish with 6-foot line, but it's able to reach down there, pull them tree limbs up, so either I can cut them, saw them, or break them off and get my jug and get my catfish back. All your fishing boats that you go out on, whether it be a fishing pontoon or bass boats or any of the boats that you go out that you're fishing with, most of them are going to have some type of live well system on, and they're great to have. But when you're carrying live bait, or you're going to be catching your own live bait, you're going to need some type of system to keep the brim alive, which is, in my case, is what I catch and primarily fish for my catfish with. So I built me a brim bucket. It was simply just taking a 5-gallon bucket that has a lid, attaching an aerator, drilling a hole, putting my line through the top of the bucket, so it go into the water surface and aerate that water for my brim, and so that they're lively and everything when I put them out on my jugs. And it's important to do this, that you do have some type of aeration system to keep these fish alive until you get out there and able to catch you some catfish. One of the ways to save a little bit of money whenever you go out, and rather than have to buy ice every time for your cooler to keep your fish fresh while you after your fishing trip, before you can clean them. If you're going to hold them overnight, they have to be on ice. One of the easiest and simplest way I mean, you can go buy bags if you want to, but as many trips as I make, it would be a more of an expense. So all I simply do is all my empty old water bottles, I just freeze them, put them in my cooler. I have different sizes, and I just layer them in my cooler. When I come back, typical cooler, I only put 4 or 5 fish in at a time, and so 2 or 3 layers of these water bottles, it'll keep those fish chilled, and when you clean them the next day, the meat will be firm. They're easy to clean, easy to fillet. But that just saves a few bucks per fishing trip. One of the things I built to when I go catfishing and jugging to retrieve my jugs, I built me a little catch pole. This catch pole is probably 9 foot long. It's built out of a surf rod I had that was just extra around the house. It's a 2-piece rod, and I have flotation on each piece for the fact that sometimes these rods will come apart, and you know, if you want to keep it 9 foot, you better have flotation on each of them, or at least for my purpose. But you can make it out of a 6 foot or 7 foot catch pole if you wanted to. On the end, all I did was took me a piece of heavy wire, bent it into a V that's really easy to catch my jugs, to catch my line with, so that as soon as I catch the jug, I'm able to put pressure on that fish. And the importance of a catch pole is that you can hand line these catfish in and do just fine. But you're going to lose another 10 to 20% of the fish hand lining versus this. For whatever reason, it gives you a little bit of a flex in that on the catfish, on those surges and stuff, and they just don't pull loose as often. One of the things you need to protect in your boat when you're out fishing, so that you don't lose it and waste a bunch of time, because things happen on the lake, I can tell you. I've lost my share of equipment, myself and my fishing partners. It's not uncommon for us to make a deposit into the Lake Altoona every now and then, or some of our equipment. But I protect what equipment I can, and I do that with just simply putting pool noodles on all my dip nets, for my crappie net that I use. Sometimes when things will happen, you lose your balance, the boat be coming by or whatever. But if you put a little pool noodle on them, that'll keep them up on the surface, and so you don't lose them and all the stuff. I don't own a net that I don't have a pool noodle attached, and that includes my minnow bucket net. This is probably the #1 thing I lose on Lake Altoona, or did until I started putting flotation devices on them. After a long night of fishing or something, whenever I was dumping whatever's left of my live brim out of my little portable brim bucket, that I would dump these nets. And so put a little float on them, you'll be able to recover them and go about your day. You don't have to worry about even losing a little $2 net. Another thing that I use a lot on the boat is a camera. Sometimes it may be a fishing light, a green light for crappie or otherwise, and to rather than having to carry extra 12-volt batteries and stuff and just running off one battery, I built me an extension cord just from a simple plug-in to a couple of wires. I run back into my 12-volt system batteries, and it's just a great little convenient item to have on your boat. I built this one in particular for this, so that anywhere on my boat, all the way up to the tongue of the trailer, I can have me some light if I need to, or have me an extension to run any type of equipment, or anywhere in my boat that I need to. Another part of fishing is that I made a lot of this equipment, and I mean, you can buy it. There's a lot of commercial products out there that fill every one of these voids and needs that you might have on the lake, but I enjoy to tinker with things myself. And that can mean, you know, part of the fishing experience can be is you make your own jugs. Nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of jug designs out there. There's a lot of videos that show you how to do them. This is just my version of what my fishing jug is, and it fits the bill well for me. My spinner baits, exact same thing. Having the satisfaction of going out there and catching a fish on something that you build yourself just enhances every fishing experience. You know, something just as simple as having backup systems for that. When you're out there on the lake at night and say that your electrical system quits or something, I know that I've tried to be redundant on everything on my boat. I have extra fuses now, extra bulbs, but sometimes you may not be able to fix that problem. So I have a backup plan that these little LEDs, they're red, green, and white, that I can light up whatever part of my boat with these lights, and meet the requirements to be able to get safely back in, even at night, navigating the waters and making sure that people don't run into me or I don't run into someone else. Because we want to go out there and enjoy our life, and we don't want to have any bad experiences. And everything I do is I try to minimize any bad part of a fishing trip that can go wrong, because it does go wrong. And all the equipment I've showed you today is equipment that I've lost, I've broke, because I have a knack for it. For whatever reason, I have a knack for just breaking things, but that's part of the memories that you build. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it, and I hope it allows you to go out there and make the most of your time and enjoy every moment on the water that you can.